The perspective in this horror movie. It's very likely to happen. Because the ice at the poles is melting, the scientists were surprised. Digging the carcasses of prehistoric animals. I can't believe this is the beginning of a nightmare. How specific is it? Let's watch all the movies together. As the global population grows, problems caused by the greenhouse effect. It's becoming more and more obvious. Global warming causes polar ice caps to melt. There's a strange epidemic all over the place. A lot of problems keep happening. People are facing a huge challenge. David is a scientist. He led his team to the Arctic for research. This is where the snow is everywhere, but now the snow has mostly melted, turned into a vast wilderness. That day the team spotted a polar bear. It's on the thin snow eating something. After anesthetizing the polar bear, the whole team goes to it, unexpected due to the melting snow. So the prehistoric mammoth's body was exposed. What the polar bear ate earlier was the mammoth carcass. They're sending polar bears back to the research center. And mammoths, they'll continue their research. David calls his daughter Everlyn. Tell her to hurry to the research center. Said that his team had made a huge discovery. As originally planned, Everlyn will be with BA college students, with a helicopter, to a research center in the Arctic. But the day the group left, base pilot gets David's phone. I told you to stop, Everlyn. I won't let you go to the North Pole. Base still can't ask because SAO has to do that. The Kia's front end was turned off. Because Everlyn's relationship with Dad wasn't going so well. That's why I don't even want you to go. The more you have to go. Finally, a group of 5 people went to the Arctic together. After arrival, David's team is still doing some outside research. There is no electricity in this place. Go inside the research center, then a stench rises. Wait until the power comes back. The scene in front. It scared Everlyn and the atom. It turns out that the polar bear's carcass is rotting and smelly, so the base goes into the lab. I want to take an intimate photo of a polar bear. To make memories, I just lifted my hand. I saw what bit my arm. A little bleeding. I thought it was a flea bite, so I didn't notice. But the truth is, in the mammoth carcass that was discovered a few days ago, there's an ancient parasite. When the body is defrosted, then those parasites are slowly coming back to life. Polar bears die from eating mammoths. And they're infected with parasites. Very clear. Base got in big trouble that you didn't know about. When the night is quiet, people are sleeping, they are awakened by strange noises. It turns out that Peter and Lynn are letting themselves go. Just when you two are in love. I don't know where an insect comes from. Federico from a young age was afraid of insects. Its appearance makes you lose interest. Was laughed at by Lynn. Federico hugging blanket hugging pillow go out to sleep. Soon everyone woke up to the noise. Outside is David's helicopter. Everlyn opened the door. Groaning fainted in the helicopter just like that fell out. You was a member of David's survey team. So where did David and the others go? Back time 2 days ago. After discovering the body of a mammoth, terrible things keep happening. David's 2 assistants are infected with parasites. So he just shot them and killed them. And then bury their bodies in the Arctic. Groaning in the tent, constantly trembling. Because she also showed symptoms of a parasitic infection. There's even a hole in your forehead. The parasite pokes its head out and then goes back inside. To keep the moaning network active. After shooting David, you killed the assistant. Now the entire survey team is alone. Everyone rushed to get you inside. Research center. 01 who knows what the groan went through. But her face was pale and sweaty all over. I know you have a mild illness. Not long after, he vomited blood. I'm sorry, Everlyn. And then reunited with my grandparents. Maybe it's worse than sleeping one night in my room. There are parasites. Now she's also infected. She's got red spots all over her. The situation of Aid is even more serious. The previous bite has rotted, endlessly bleeding. Realize that something is wrong. Everyone prepare. Go back, but the helicopter's power lines were all moaned and damaged. To prevent parasites from entering the city, you have to do that. It would take at least a month to repair the helicopter. I can't contact David. Everlyn felt that her father had something wrong. So, she and Adam drive off the road looking for news of their father. Very fast. 2 people saw 2 tents in the middle of a large lawn. That's David's camp. But they didn't find David in this place. That they found the mammoth's body in the tent. You 2 are amazing. But soon after, they're smashing their eyes with countless parasites. Everlyn and Adam are still unconscious. How serious is this? Then Everlyn found the assistant's body in the back of the tent. Next she ran to the grave to dig up the body, but was stopped by the Adam in time. To prevent you from getting too excited, he hurried her back to the research center. I don't know if it's a relationship with Lynn or not. Federico suddenly pissed blood. It feels right up to the navel. Federico is very angry. I thought that being infected was hard to say from the spirit. He was so angry that he vomited all over the ground. Your looks right now. It's like groaning before you die. After the misunderstanding was resolved, Federico rushed to call for help. Everlyn goes back to the research center. She decided to start an investigation from the body. First striped clothes moaning RA. Your stomach is full of parasite eggs. People haven't calmed down yet. Then a parasite from the eye of the groan crawls RA. Then crawl back in. Everlyn identified this as a parasite. To prevent LAN infection, they had to move the body. Go to the lab. Has isolation function. Here Everlyn suddenly discovered. The parasite also lays eggs on the body. Polar bears finally. How long the larval stage lasts, no one knows. The answer. Federico is asking everyone to leave quickly. If the weather is good, the rescue team will be here in a few hours. But Everlyn agrees with this idea. She's afraid the parasites will spread. You suggest contact the Centers for Disease Control immediately. Ask for professional guidance first. At that time, everyone had to separate themselves to cut off the infecting land. Federico is eager to save the hateful lover. I can't leave right away. But when Everlyn told me that Lynn was infected with the parasite, I was surprised. Even so, Federico refused to face the truth. Everlyn's trying to contact the rescue team. Tell them not to come here. Who suspected Federico was shy and angry. Shoot down the intercom. They threatened everyone before the rescue team arrived. This place will be arranged by you. My body is getting weaker. People don't tell you the truth, just to keep you isolated in an empty room. My stomach is very scary right now. Looks like it can't be cured anymore. If this is not done, something else will come. Under the cloth of moaning Spotty, the parasites are constantly crawling RA. You have to close the door. Once the parasites crawl out, the consequences are unimaginable. 8 touch the injured arm. A bold thought appeared. When the eggs of the parasite have not yet hatched, you have to think about how to save yourself. Originally, 8 tried to use tongs to pick up eggs from inside Ra's wound. Unfortunately, this didn't work. Reluctant 8 took out a sharp knife. I want to cut off my arm to save my life, even in the heart. Everlyn and Adam agree with this. But there seems to be no other way. An injection of painkillers into hand 8. Then you can only pray to God. Federico sat in a corner touching her boy. Your hands are covered in blood, but this place can't be cut off. Life-saving plan officially begins. Adam held up the knife. Federico lost her mind, rushed into the room and opened fire. The atom is in the wrong place. At the critical moment, Everlyn tightened 3 times and finally broke. But the base still fainted because it was too painful and too scared. Saw the parasite crawl out of the newly severed arm. Adam rushed to get the spray. Insect spray, get the spray too. But it doesn't seem to work. Eventually we have to use fire to kill that parasite. Everlyn finds bandages in her medical bag. I suddenly discovered David's research notes. Up there, very meticulous recording of information about parasites. Turns out it's not an insect. It's a kind of vertebrate. The male doesn't do any harm, it's just that being bitten by him will hurt. The children will get into the body. Creatures that don't stop laying eggs. When you came back, you brought a camera. Everlyn decided to take a look at the picture library. The video was recorded to find more material. So you can't help but take risks. Go into the lab. Polar bears have now become a delicacy. Toner for parasites. The cloth wrapped around Ra's body was eaten up. Only white bones remain. The parasites crawl out of the polar bear very quickly. Fell to the ground. Fortunately, Everlyn finally got the camera. I can't believe Federico pointed the gun at me. Everlyn said she had parasites on her. The truth proves. It's true you have parasites on you, but it was caught by the atom RA before getting inside you. Federico still doesn't believe. There's no other way. Everlyn just took off all her clothes. Let Adam check for you. And then they managed to open the video. The results have not been seen. Then a parasite crawls into the room. Adam fast hands fast eyes go to stomp it. It's in a quiet research center right now. Suddenly there was a noise. Looking out the window of the laboratory. The scene inside made them goosebumps. On the carcass of a giant polar bear. It's covered in black. It's all parasites. Soon these parasites will crawl out. People negotiate. They'll get to the plane quickly, and then set the research center on fire. Lynn is locked in the isolation room. You also have a parasite that crawls RA. She screamed desperately for everyone to let her out. But in this situation, the Everlyn team definitely can't open the door. Federico refused to save himself. Lynn angrily wants to drag Federico into the water. She said when 2 people reign together. Federico is also bitten by parasites. Afraid of being exposed, Federico did not hesitate to shoot after 0-1 shot. You're lying that. I do this to help the soul be free. I can't believe that Lynn is not dead. She painfully fell in a pool of blood. The wind keeps coming. Everlyn checked the arm of the base. Detect that the wound still has eggs of parasites. Obviously, the plan to cut Tay has failed. I know how long I won't live. Take 2 bottles of painkillers and relax. Into the isolation room. After injecting yourself and your body, I quietly waited for death to come. There are only 3 people left in the research center. Everlyn, Adam and Peter alive. Before leaving to be safe, Everlyn told everyone to check their bodies. To make sure you're not infected with parasites. Of course Federico refused to cooperate. Now Everlyn seems to have figured out why. Why did he shoot Lynn? Seeing the truth revealed. Angry Federico preparing to shoot. I can't believe you were shot first. The shooter wasn't another AI, it was David. They shot him but didn't hit the spot. The man in the grave is buried in the camp. David's 2 assistants. The girl wants to burn down the research center. David was very supportive and said, tell me where to put the gas. But by the time you guys were filling up, Everlyn constantly felt that something was wrong. To find the answer, I decided to watch the rest of the video. The truth surprised you very much. It turns out your father. We soon learned about the existence of this parasite. It's a terrifying creature that's caused by global warming. To make people wake up early. David, I let a parasite get inside me. You want to spread disease? According to David, probably only when thousands of people have paid with their lives. The earth warms up. Then people realize the importance of protecting the environment. Rescue planes are about to arrive. David locked Everlyn and Adam in the room. He wanted to go back to the city alone to carry out his responsibilities. The lifeguard just looked and recognized David. They're going to the research center to save lives. David gave the excuse that people in it were infected with parasites. To stop while thousands of pounds of hair hang, Adam stormed out of the room and grabbed the plane. The sound of the plane was too loud. Rescue worker, you can't hear the sound of Adam's. Your body swayed in the air, finally exhausted, falling to the ground. To prevent accidents from happening, Everlyn decided to sacrifice for the greater good. She pointed her gun at the rescue plane. After 3 shots rang out, the plane crashed into the research center. A great fire rises, burned down both David and the rescuers. It also makes the parasites in there turned into ashes. The end of everything. Everlyn ran to a Tom who wanted to get you out of here. But it wasn't too late. Before death, Tom told Everlyn to bring her father's notes to warn people. The end of the story. Everlyn's body and mind are tired, slowly falling asleep on the plane, until another search and rescue team arrives. You've just successfully left the Arctic, a danger that threatens human life. Just like that removed. Not at all. In the bodies of dead birds, there was evidence of the parasite. People still don't know anything about this. You have to pay for your mistakes. It's just sooner or later. This movie is the end. This film is called Subcutaneous Parasites. The movie's question: you think that the prospect of melting unleashing the scourges of ancient times, did it happen? If so, press 1 or 2. Thank you for your interest. Follow. Hello and see you later.